Ndinoda kuti nyika isiwe vanhu vangu inguva yedu hatingatadzi kubudirira Mwari ari parutivi pedu rambai muchirwa
My hitters gon' die, don't die. The real hitters gon' shine and my people gon' rise. Cause we're born to win, yeah. I ain't saying
When the hell do I not have the deal? I swear this thing is a real dog. I play it fair and off. The cowards so they can't feel. The wife try to console me like it's coming, baby, chill. She don't understand. I'm the only one that's real. I remember the third grade. Them kids, they had waves. I had them BDBs. You know that Zimbabwean grade. So they do shades. And your boy hit the stage, press play, and all the chicks was like, yeah. While boys was moving bricks, I was moving chips. If she gave me calculus, gave her a mouthful of it. Heat rose to this thing, boy, I bet on myself.
Grand Rising, everyone. Welcome to the Day with Trae. I am your host, Trae Holiday, and I want to welcome you to this magnificent mindfulness, meditation, and Memorial Day Monday. That's right. It is Memorial Day for those of you who are able to be at home, and maybe you're starting your day with me. Maybe it's the middle of the day. Either way, I'm excited to have you all join me. Y'all have been hearing me talk about the fact that we have Nefer the first in the building joining me today. We're going to be talking all about his career as a prolific teacher of ancient meditation and breathing techniques. We're also going to be sharing a meditation course that is now available to everyone, really culminating from his 50 years of experience as a world-renowned teacher and meditator. And he's bringing all of those amazing skills right here to us all. So, of course, I'm excited, y'all, for this Black Star Power episode with Nefer the first. But of course, right now is the top of the show, y'all. So it's a great time to tag and share the stream. That's right. Now is the time where you use that share button, share it with everyone that you feel could benefit from a daily dose of dopeness right here on The Day with Trae. And if you cannot watch our TV show here, do not worry. We definitely have you covered because you can listen to us anywhere you find your favorite podcast. Just search Converge Media Network and The Day with Trae. Y'all will find me on Google, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, SoundCloud, whichever one is your favorite. We are on like 200 plus platforms. So pick the one that you enjoy and go ahead and search Converge Media Network and The Day with Trae, and y'all will find me there. Shout out to everyone who is tagging and sharing this stream and helping us grow here on The Day with Trae in the Black Media Matters studios. I adore your support and your love right here for this show. Well, we have a lot to dive into today, so I'm really excited that Nefer the first has made some time in his busy schedule to join me on The Day with Trae today. Hello, Nefer the first. How are you?
Hello. How are you? How are you?
Doing great. It's so great to be with you today. And we have so much to dive into because looking at your bio and reading your books, I know you have been dedicating yourself to this way of life and to bringing it out to people for the last 50 years. And so I want to start really toward the beginning here. As a young man, you know, you had folks coming to you for guidance and for counsel, and that kind of grew in its own regard. Tell us about those beginnings.
Sure. First of all, thank you for having me and helping to promote my teachings. And yes, you know, when I was in my 20s, actually late 20s, early 30s, I was doing a lot of readings on esoteric science, ancient Egyptian texts and, the different New Age stuff out there. And somehow I was able to leverage that material to answer questions that people had about their lives, give them spiritual insight. And it was a kind of uncanny experience because people would come constantly tell me that it was so different, so inspiring. And I didn't know where that was coming from. It was like some intuition that will come to me when I began to counsel people. And at some point, I met Sun Ra, the musician, and he told me that he wrote music with the I Ching because I was a composing piano major myself in school, Miners College of Music. So I went and bought me a copy of the I Ching. I did a reading about my destiny, and it told me to give up. First of all, it said, "Oh, you're very talented, but give it up and dedicate yourself to uplifting all the spiritually." So I toyed with that for 3 years because how was I going to give up after some 25 years of studying music? But that's what I do. I was very good at it. I got a scholarship to mine as why would I give it up? But people would come back and say to me, "Oh, this was very helpful." So, I meditated and gave it up, dedicated myself to teaching people. And I wrote a couple of books, in the early 70s. And it became clear to me that you cannot help to develop people spiritually by just giving them books and going over things intellectually. What you need to have is a community where everybody is dedicated to helping each other grow spiritually, support each other, set up an accountability mechanism, meditate and pray for each other, and so on. So that was the beginning of the Osada Set Society. You see that? A community based spiritual sharing. You see that? And now we are in our 50 years and in over 30 cities around the world and members in over 40 cities around the world. So it's been a blessed, blessed, blessed journey.
Absolutely. I mean, that carries us forward because you realize that there was some structure that was necessary in order for people to be able to utilize the teachings within the books. So I really appreciate you taking us on that journey and sharing how important it was to have a system of accountability and a way to really bond and connect with people as we learn to be one with all, right? And so it's beautiful to hear that the teachings were really the foundation for establishing a Saraset society and getting people to understand how to do this work in their lives, not just for themselves, but as a collective. And so, one of the things that really struck me in your bio was you said it had to have the, traditional African governmental structure. It couldn't really mimic what we saw here in the Western world. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, when we look at the governmental and organizational structure in the Western world, we find that it is, has a lot of issues and problems with it. You see that somebody's a president, vice president, CEO, they don't necessarily have the qualities, the talent. You see that? And so I said, if we're going to be spiritual, we're going to have to organize ourselves around traditional African governmental systems. You see, the ancient Kamitic system. So I studied the Akan, governmental system, the Yoruba, the ancient Egyptian. So I decided to use that as the organizational structure for our community. So along the way, we caught the attention of the Asante Hene, the Ashanti King of Kings, Otunfu Pokuwara II. He came to New York in 1984, and we organized the first royal reception for an African king outside of Africa. He was so
Wow.
impressed by the authenticity of our connection to African tradition that he invited us in 1985 to Ghana, Kumasi, to celebrate the 50th, anniversary of the restoration of the Ashanti Confederacy. And on November the 5th, he installed me, gave me an honorary, Oman Hene, honorary paramount king, installment. You see that? And 3 days later, Kwame Sarpong, the king of Agogo Ashanti region, gave me an honorary installment as a co-ruler of Agogo, and I have been, recognized, by many other Ghanaian and Yoruba and South African kings, as along with the women and men that we have also elevated to the level of queen mothers and kings in Osada said. So we all officially recognize, in Ghana, and abroad. Yes.
Wow. I mean, that right there is a true connection back to the continent of Africa in a way that we don't see often here in the United States or even in the Western world. I would love to hear a bit about how that was reflected with the members once they understood this recognition that was going on in Kamasi with regard to the work they were now tapping into. How were people receiving this amazing honor there in Kamasi, and how were they receiving it here?
Oh, it was mind blowing, to say the least. 55 of us went to Ghana in 1985, and we experienced something that was just totally unimaginable. You see that? To be in Kumasi at a Durba royal reception where all the different Ashanti kingdoms, some 30 of them, came together in the full, regalia, and ceremonial greatness, and then to be received at the palace of the different kings. These were, African American people, teachers, lawyers, regular folks, having, royal reception, because, the story that we were telling to our children is that we did not come from slaves. We came from kings and queen mothers, and here we are restoring our African kingship here in America with recognition in Africa. And this is very important for our young people to understand. You see that?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is something that it seems like more and more people are getting familiar with the history that is based in what you have been really bringing out. More and more people are really getting connected and plugged in. When you understand all of the books that you've written and the ways that people have been able to have some exposure to these teachings, we know you've heard a lot of success stories coming out of that. And before we go to break, quickly, maybe you can tell us about how even the teachings in the books have really helped a lot of folks in their lives and how folks began to seek you out for counsel. I know you're very humble, but you were counseling many celebrities, a lot of folks that were coming to you because they realized that you were bringing about something that they were looking for, in a sense that they were seeking. The books gave that establishment of you being able to be connected to this knowledge and bringing it out for people. But there was a lot of folks receiving it here in the United States and reaching out, right?
Oh, that's correct. That's correct. And a lot of celebrities, I like to protect their privacy, though. Also heads of Masonic orders, and they would come to me because the thing is that in the esoteric tradition of the Western world, people study Kabbalah, and they study Hinduism and the Taoist system, and they never penetrate into the secrets of these teachings. You see that? And one of the reasons for that is that because they didn't try to apply these teachings to everyday life. When you take these ancient teachings and you apply them to uniting people, to harmonizing people, to elevating people spiritually, then you open up your higher spiritual centers and you get an intuitive guidance from the ancestors, you know, and so on. Is and we just didn't read the ancient texts. We learned how we sought out those knowledge on how to use these teachings to counsel people for relationship and marriage, how to help the women have natural childbirth. We have lot of a good number of midwives in our society. We do naming ceremonies. We do our own funeral ceremonies based on the ancient rites of ancient Egypt. Okay, we have Right now, we have about 9 queen mothers and 3 kings in Osada set. Many chieftesses and chiefs, we call them Shekemu. We have elders, okay? We have priesthood members, that are involved in counseling and assisting people with their meditations and rituals and their problems in life. We have had our own schools. We still have one school, Kamit Preparatory Institute, that's now celebrating about its 45th years. You see that? And many of our students graduated from this school and have gone on. They're now mothers and fathers. They went to major universities. So, we're just not quote into so-called esoteric sciences. We were able to uh, turn them around, extract the creme de la creme to enhance people's life. But you cannot do that through teachings. You have to set up social institutions.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, wow. Thank you so much for laying this foundation. After this short break, everyone, we're going to dive a bit more into this course that you now all have the opportunity to purchase and to allow it to guide you to health, wealth, and success. Stay tuned right after this short break, y'all. You're watching The Day with Trae.
Big Tobacco thinks they know everything. They think they know you, your community, the places you go, the way that you spend your time. They think they got you all figured out, down to a formula, a calculation based off of numbers of what they think they know. Show them they're wrong. Learn more at theythinktheyknowyou.org.
1 in every 500 African Americans in the U.S. suffers from sickle cell disease. 1 in 3 African American blood donors is a match for patients with sickle cell. 1 appointment to donate blood with the American Red Cross can help save a life. Will you be that one? Visit redcrossblood.org/ourblood today to schedule an appointment at a location near you.
Hey, you guys, I'm Jay Martin Jr., the host of the Drive Project podcast, where we talk about passion, purpose, and possibility. It's available for you to listen on whereweconverge.com, SoundCloud. You can listen to it on Apple, Spotify, Google, and so much more. Real conversations with real people, and some of it is just me sharing my perspective. I can't wait for you to listen. Thank you so much.
COVID-19 hurt my income, my health, and my family. We were about to lose our home when we heard we might be eligible for homeowner assistance funds from the government. We called 1-877-894-HOME, and a housing counselor stepped in. They talked to our lender and saved our home. Because falling on hard times does not have to mean losing your home. Federal funding details at washingtonhaf.org.
Welcome back, everyone, to The Day with Trae. Of course, I'm your host, Trae Holiday, and we are continuing our discussion with Ra'u Nefer Amen the First. He was just laying an amazing foundation of the history of, his teachings and his work, how he brought it out to the community with the Sarset Society, and some of the benefits that all of those members have been able to experience in the last 50 years. Welcome back, Ra'u Nefer Amen the First.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, you just really laid out a solid foundation. And now there is a real push to make sure that these teachings and these lessons are accessible to everyone throughout the world. Tell us about this transition moving from, the ways that it has been done to now opening it up with Ma'at, the 11 Laws, this meditation course on health, wealth, and success.
Thank you so much. And let me first begin by explaining the reason for the course, and the courses to come. I cannot give a bright individual books and say, go study the books and become a doctor. Go study the book and become a teacher. Go study the book and become a lawyer. You need to have courses and people teaching those courses. And this is what we are pivoting from. We have, in the past 50 years, I have written 40 books and composed music, over 100 compositions for meditation, meditation music and so on. But the thing is that you have to get into the trenches with people. You see that? And now that technology, IT technology, has advanced so much, without touching AI or maybe a little bit of it, we are able to now bring courses because that's what the public need. They don't need, a 41st or a 50th book from me. What they need is you know, a group of people working through technology that can reach hundreds of people, thousands of people at a time and guide them through the process. So this work, Ma'at, the 11 Laws of God, well, Ma'at, that's the book, and the course is Ma'at, the 11 Laws of Health, Wealth, and Success. You see, um, it's our first, tool to sit down with people and help them awaken the 11 faculties of their spirit. The same way the physical body has different faculties, respiratory system, digestive system, and so on, your spirit has different systems or faculties, which the ancient Egyptians called Neteru, the Kabbalists call the spheres of the tree of life, and the Orishas, the Yoruba called the Orishas. These are not nothing else but faculties of the spirit, the same with the physical body. But the thing is that you need somebody to guide you on how to awaken these faculties, how to put them to work to elevate your mind and your psyche. And so this is what this course, Ma'at, the 11 Laws of Health, Wealth, and Success. You see
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, I mean, this right here is something we've been discussing this with certain folks coming on to the platform here for the day with Trae. I know we've had Haru Trae Amen here. He was talking about the benefit of Qigong and breathing. And we know that that is also another ancient practice. And so there's really it's almost like it's great to understand and see that more and more folks are getting connected to some of these practices. And this is a practical way for them to understand how to be benefiting their lives by doing some work with their inner sides, right? I mean, I think a lot of folks, we have a lot of gurus out there that talk about, what folks need to be doing and buying these other books and reading and getting the intellectual knowledge. But a lot of this is about folks being able to, as you said there, cultivate these faculties from within. When you think about some of the practical things folks are getting by purchasing this course, explain to us, when someone is brand new, they have no idea about any of this. What are they going to get, and what kind of ways will this course benefit them?
Very good, very good. Actually, the course was created with brand new people in mind, as well as intermediate and advanced people. You see that? And first of all, like I said just a while ago, when you talk about spiritual cultivation, you have to know that you're cultivating 11 faculties, you see, way past the subconscious so-called mind. You see that? The spirit is hidden. It doesn't announce itself or shows where it is the way we know that we have a digestive system, a reproductive system, and so on. So the course makes you aware of the 11 spiritual faculties, how to awaken them. You see that you can say, "Oh, I'm spiritual," but the thing is, spiritual work is awakening your spiritual faculties so that they can, elevate your mind and your psyche, which are the lower parts of your being. So the course gives you the words of power, the hekal, the mantras, to awaken, your 11 spiritual faculties. Okay, because the way you think negatively or positively and visualize negatively and positively has an effect on your life. The course gives you affirmations so that you can replace the negative thinking that ruins people's life with affirmations, with statements. You see that should be playing in your mind when you find yourself in a particular challenging moment. How to visualize living these spiritual truths. Because you have to go beyond. You have to go beyond this the notion of so-called positive thinking, and positive visualization. The course gives you models, templates. You see that, so that you can learn how to apply these teachings to fulfilling your specific goals of healing, you know, uh, fixing your finances, fixing your social life, your relationships, your jobs, your career. And we're bringing people 50 years of experience. You see that? Okay. That's why it is a success
Yeah.
of these teachings, why we are in over 30 cities around the world.
Well, I mean, this is what is so exciting to me. And my audience has heard me talk about some of the lessons that I've been getting in the last few years of my life that have really been transformational for me. And one that is always, even still a mind blowing fact is, the power of our choices, right? Being able to choose to be at peace in the midst of all challenges, which I say to my friends, family, and colleagues all the time that, a lot of this work allows people to reprogram their responses, emotional responses to, adversities and challenges in their lives, and really begin to understand them as opportunities for spiritual growth. And that's one that I carry with me now, just changing the language even to say, this is an opportunity for me versus, oh my goodness, this is terribly challenging or something like that. And just those simple changes really impact the way that we see so much of what goes on in our lives. And I know that this course is also bringing that knowledge out to folks as well, correct?
That's correct. And you mentioned about the peace thing, right? We all talk about peace, 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 love and happiness. But the thing is that people do not master the peace by knowing about it, hearing about it, and its importance. There's a faculty in your spirit that governs your ability to be at peace. And it doesn't matter how well educated you are about, peace. You will not be peaceful in a challenging situation unless you activate that faculty and nourish it. So that's one of the things that the course does. You see that the same thing with love. Love is, it says, one of the most powerful emotions, the binding force of the universe. But you're not going to truly love, meaning, and experience the benefits of giving, seeking nothing in return, you see, which is challenging in itself, unless you awaken the faculty that governs it. You see that, meaning that I can tell somebody about their blood pressure and their breathing rate, but there are faculties that govern these functions. You see, just not having information, and this is where people, have problems. For example, one of the things the course does, it gives you mastery over meditation. How to meditate effectively, how to apply the breathing method to getting rid of the monkey mind, the mental chatter that obstructs meditation. You learn how to do it in one day. It's just a matter of getting the proper guidance on how to do this. After 50 years of teaching meditation, we found what works, and what works best. So these are the different tools. People need tools. But above all, along with the course, we have an ongoing series of webinars where students will have the opportunity to ask questions to clear up, confusion, things they don't understand. Because you see, when you talk about spiritual teachings, you know, there's so many moving parts, so many ins and outs, so many dimensions that you have to have a means of connecting with the student through webinars where they can come in and ask the questions, type the questions, and we answer it, in real time, or we send them an answer later on. As they said, leave no spiritual being behind, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And this brings us to, how folks can tap in to this amazing course, where they go to purchase it, how they, get connected to this opportunity to really advance their lives in ways that maybe they thought was impossible, breaking the monotony of thought. It takes time. And as you said, they need the proper tools. This is a course that gives them those tools. Please let us know how folks can find this course and how they can stay connected to the teachings.
Well, the name of the course is Mark, the 11 Laws of Health, Wealth, and Success. Okay. And they can easily remember it by going to maat11laws.com.
There it
which
is.
is our website, maat11laws.com. Yes, sir.
Yeah. And now there's also Kamitic Legacy, right? Where they can follow Kamitic Legacy on all social media platforms. And so that's another way for folks to be able to tap in to this information by following at Kamitic Legacy on all of the social platforms. And there's going to be information that comes out on those platforms to keep folks engaged. Nefer Amen the first. Any last words for folks as we celebrate this course coming out to the public?
Well, let me first start off by giving thanks to all of my supporters and clients who have stayed with me for the past 50 years, you see, and who have done the work and have flooded our website with testimonials, about how these teachings have helped them and so forth. Okay, so the thing is, but I want people to understand we are entering into a new stage. We're going from reading about it to living it. And when you go from reading and talking about it to living it, it's best if you are journeying with someone. And we are here to journey with you all the way.
All the way. Oh, Nefer Amen the first. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to be with me on the Day with Trae today. It's such an honor to be able to utilize this platform to help uplift and share such a dynamic course that we know is going to be life-changing for so many people. Thank you for your work and your dedication to bringing this knowledge and these tools out for all of us to be able to benefit. We'll make sure we continue to promote it because it's such a great dynamic course. Thank you for all of your work and dedication. We appreciate you.
Thank you for the honor and the privilege. As we say, Hotep.
Hotep. Oh, y'all, I told you this was going to be fantastic. And now you have some insight as to why you need to go to maat11laws.com. Make sure y'all go to the website. All the information for the course is there. There is several different options depending on where you are financially. You can get the entire course or you can break it down into chunks, whatever is right for you. And of course, y'all know I get to wrap all this up right after this short break. Stay tuned. You're watching The Day with Trae.
Big Tobacco thinks they know everything. They think they know you, your community, the places you go, and the way that you spend your time. They think they got you all figured out, down to a formula, a calculation based off of numbers of what they think they know. Show them they're wrong. Learn more at theythinktheyknowyou.org.
1 in every 500 African Americans in the U.S. suffers from sickle cell disease. 1 in 3 African American blood donors is a match for patients with sickle cell. 1 appointment to donate blood with the American Red Cross can help save a life. Will you be that one? Visit redcrossblood.org/ourblood today to schedule an appointment at a location near you.
Hey, you guys, I'm Jay Martin Jr., the host of the Drive Project podcast, where we talk about passion, purpose, and possibility. It's available for you to listen on whereweconverge.com, SoundCloud. You can listen to it on Apple, Spotify, Google, and so much more. Real conversations with real people, and some of it is just me sharing my perspective. I can't wait for you to listen. Thank you so much.
COVID-19 hurt my income, my health, and my family. We were about to lose our home when we heard we might be eligible for homeowner assistance funds from the government. We called 1-877-894-HOME, and a housing counselor stepped in. They talked to our lender and saved our home. Because falling on hard times does not have to mean losing your home. Federal funding details at washingtonhaf.org.
Wow, what an incredible episode here. I want to thank all of you for joining me on this mindfulness memorial meditation Monday, that triple fold there today on the M's, because honestly, it was so great to sit with Nefer I and hear that history and why it's so important to utilize technology right now to bring this course out to all of you. So y'all know I was definitely inspired by what he shared with us with his history, his knowledge, and his quest to ensure that everyone has access to it. Y'all be inspired, because utilizing this course, maybe that's just what you need to find out how you can be a part of the solution on the other side of this understanding. Unlock your power, unlock your purpose. I'm telling you, go to ma'at11laws.com, get the course. You can break it up into chunks, get the whole course if you want, or do it in smaller doses, but get access to this information so that you can be a part of the solution as Nefer I is. Of course, for me, y'all, until tomorrow at 11 a.m. Peace. Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.